PeaceSmiths monthly topical atypical poetry, folk music, and whatever coffee house. And I might have the order wrong. This evening we're going to have poet Richard Jeffrey Newman and musician David Bailey.
First of all, thank you so much. I want to thank PeaceSmiths for having me and Kimberly for allowing me to fill in for Amy King, who I know was supposed to read. It was actually a colleague of mine. I brought poems to read for you, two my own poetry, but also translations. And I thought that I would start with translations from a guy, maybe some of you have heard of Rumi, the Persian mystical poet. Okay. The guy whom I have translated, his name is Sadi, and he was actually a contemporary of Rumi. And if Rumi is kind of the mystical Sufi, right, the ecstatic Sufi, then Sadi represents kind of the intellectual side of Sufism and that whole philosophy. And Sadi was a guy who wrote very political poetry. Where if, Rumi sort of writes about transcendence and oneness with God, and Sadi tends to write about very earthy, down-to-earth, political, everyday kinds of things. And given that this is PeaceSmiths, I thought what I would do would be to read to you. One of the things that I found as I was translating Sadi, I was consistently impressed by how appropriate much of what he wrote is to today's political situation. And I thought what I would do would be to start by reading three of Sadi's poems that I think, well, you'll hear them and I think you will understand why I think they're kind of relevant to today's situation. The first poem is called With As Good an Eye, and the only thing you need to know is that Darius is an ancient king of Iran, and he's a very well-revered ancient king of Iran. So this is called With As Good an Eye. I've heard the story told that Darius, whose lineage is blessed, rode off one day from his hunting entourage and saw, running towards him through the pasture, a man. A foe I have not seen before, the king decided. I'll nail him to the ground with this, and he placed a poplar arrow in his bow. Lord of Iran and Tur, the man cried out, may the evil eye never fall upon you. I am your stable master, here to serve you. The man's voice brought the Shah's memory back to the name that went with his face. You were foolish of me to run like that. A smile played across the royal lips. An angel protected you. The bowstring was nearly to my ear. The stable master also smiled. Because you've treated me so well, I won't withhold advice from you that you should hear. It neither makes us safe nor commands respect if the king cannot distinguish enemies from friends. Your high position carries this responsibility, that you should recognize each one who serves you. You've seen me many times at court, and we have talked about your horses and their grazing. How then does it come to be that now, when I have rushed to serve you here with love, you see moral danger in my approach? If you ask me, O king, I can bring from a herd of 100,000 horses the single beast you want to ride that day. This detailed knowledge drives my herdsmanship. Tend your own flock with as good an eye. Disorder will bring ruin to this land. Its emperor cannot outthink a shepherd. Thank you. The first chapter of the Bustan is called Justice, and it was actually written, it was commissioned. Sadi had a patron, and it was commissioned by the guy who was the king. And one of the things that's kind of remarkable about Sadi's poetry is that he's a truth teller. He speaks truth to power in ways that could have been quite dangerous for him. And one of the concerns that he has quite regularly is with the difference between rich and poor, which obviously is something that is very relevant these days. And the last translation, you have to, I think, in my own personal, humble opinion, this is a poem that George Bush ought to take very much to heart. And you have to kind of listen very carefully to, you'll see the whole poem, but you have to kind of listen carefully to the first two lines. It's called Unclench Your Fists. A man perched high in a tree was chopping at the base of the branch where he was sitting. I'll say that again. A man perched high in a tree was chopping at the base of the branch where he was sitting. The garden's owner, looking up, said, "This man commits a crime against himself, not me." Listen, there's wisdom in those words. You do not need to overthrow the weak by force. Our judge in heaven will decide if tomorrow a prince should be reduced to the beggar you wouldn't waste the barley corn on. If power and status are what you want from life, do nothing that will make a humble man your foe. For once the rank you bear is gone, the beggar who sought alms with such respect will seize you by your skirt and take revenge. Unclench your fists. Do not seek to battle the powerless. If they defeat you, shame will haunt you. To be by the lowest laid so low would be in free men's eyes disgrace you can't recover from. The great kings made the crown and throne their own through intellect and clear-hearted wisdom. Don't stray from that straight path. And if you would straighten yourself, heed Sati. So those are three poems by Sadi, and he really is. I think he's a guy worth reading these days. And I will say that not just because I have books here, if you would like to buy them, if you would like to own them, but also in all seriousness, given the kind of political situation between Iran and the U.S. The more we read about Iran, the more we learn, because in this country we are, in general, enormously ignorant about Iran. If you read a guy like Sadi, you will understand something about Iranian culture, and even contemporary Iranians, that no political analysis will provide. Iran is a culture that loves its poets. People walk around quoting poetry the way we, I don't know, might quote pop songs, for example. The second group of poems I'm going to read is from my own book called The Silence of Men. And I thought as well that what I would do would be to read poems, at least some of the poems, that are connected to questions of peace and war and kind of politics. The title of my book is The Silence of Men. And one of the reasons it's called The Silence of Men, well, the title poem is called The Silence of Men, and I'm going to read you that in a moment. But one of the reasons the title is important to me is because I think very often there are kinds of silences imposed on men in our culture. Men shouldn't talk about things, men especially shouldn't talk to each other about certain things. And I think very often those silences and what silences are what end up in war. I mean, the silences end up resulting in war. And I will read, I will read one last poem, which is called Light. In the dream, my life was smoke. I couldn't breathe. So I ran, unwrapping myself down the beach till your skin, the ocean, lapped at my knees. I dove in. Your voice was a current, a melody gathering words to itself for us to sing, and we sang them, and they swirled around us, iridescent fish, bringing light to the world you were for me. And then I was water, a river washing the night from your flesh, and I cradled your body rising in me till you were clean, glowing. And when you surfaced, glistening, there was not an inch of you I didn't cling to. Thank you. Thank you so very much. I will just say that I have some books. They're back there. They're $15 each one. The translations in The Silence of Men are each $15. I will be happy, of course, to sign them. And again, thank you so much for being such a wonderful audience.
Let me know, because I hear you. I walk outside at midnight, I look up to the sky, pull my coat around me, hear the wind cry. Ask how can all this happen? Is true love just a lie? When we need it most, it leaves us high and dry. Love is a mystery, who knows why cold wind blows? It's a miracle that happens. People fall in love, they slip into a life, fits them like a glove, then everything unravels. Sweetness travels south, and you can't believe the hurtful things coming from your mouth. Love is a mystery, who knows why cold wind blows? Where does love come from? Why does love blow? Where is love headed? These things I'd like to know. I'm just standing here without you, feeling nothing but this cold, cold. Nothing but the cold. You're coming up behind me. You put your hands inside my coat. I try to say some words to you, they burn inside my throat. So we stand here bound together, an anchor to a boat, underneath the starry sky, trying to stay afloat. Love is a mystery, who knows why cold wind blows? Where does love come from? Where does love go? Where it goes, when it's gone, nobody seems to know. I'm just standing here without you, feeling nothing but this cold, cold. Feeling nothing but the cold. Where does my love go? Nothing but the cold. This next song is called Learn to Fall, and it's sort of an intense redneck rave up about the life and times of a poor boy, and I've constantly been rewriting it, so I hope I can get through it, but I do want to play it for you tonight. It's called Learn to Fall. He was born a poor boy's only son. Ain't much he won't do, ain't much he ain't done. His papa always told him from the time he was a pup, he said, a poor boy life will knock you down, son. You gotta get up, you gotta learn to fall, but you don't lie down. His daddy died that winter, and he put the hammer down. Got a place in a little rock on the dirty side of town. That's where he met Maya, pretty as could be, up from Texarkana, one half Cherokee. And he learned to fall when she laid him down. They had 2 years together, full of destiny and lace, but the cocaine and the crystal meth grabbed his Maya's face. And on a night he can't remember, he got his daddy's 44, found an all-night service station, and he laid him on the floor, and he learned to fall. It's a long way down. Came to see him, and the news is not good. He wouldn't change a thing, even if he could. Preacher says his soul has been born again. All all his sins forgiven. He'll soon be with his kin, 'cause he learned to fall, ready for the ground. Someday he'll rise up, can't keep a poor boy down. This song's called I Feel Good Today. I go to bed angry, I wake up sad, ask the doctor what I had. Doctor said, my future looks bleak, I got no style, no technique, but hey, I feel good today. Hey, I feel good today. 'Cause I've been down, down so low. How much farther can I go? My bottom down, I ain't got no more. A terrible day has come and gone. My old friends are still long gone. Dream about the towers standing there. Everything vanished in the air. But hey, I feel good today. Hey, I feel good today. I grieved hard, I grieved so, I grieved everywhere I go. All dreams that I ain't got no more. Switch got thrown inside my brain. I don't have to carry this ball and chain. Now that I've turned my life around, gonna change my shirt, take a walk into town. Well, I get scared, scared to death, scared sometimes to take a breath. At night I close my eyes and pray, please don't take my loved ones away. But hey, I feel good today. Hey, I feel good today. Fear hits me like a body blow. Fear follows me wherever I go. I used to be scared, I ain't scared no more. I feel good today. I feel good today. I ain't gonna work on Maggie's farm no more. No, I ain't gonna work on Maggie's farm no more. Well, I wake up in the morning, hold my hands and pray for rain. I got a head full of ideas that are driving me insane. It's a shame the way she makes me scrub the floor. I ain't gonna work on Maggie's farm no more. No, I ain't gonna work for Maggie's brother no more. No, I ain't gonna work for Maggie's brother no more. Well, they hand you a nickel, hand you a dime, ask you with a grin, are you having a good time? And he finds you every time you slam the door. I ain't gonna work for Maggie's brother no more. No, I ain't gonna work for Maggie's pie no more. No, I ain't gonna work for Maggie's pie no more. Well, he puts out his cigar and your face just for kicks. His bedroom window is made out of bricks, and the National Guard stands outside his door. I ain't gonna work for Maggie's pie no more. ain't gonna work for Maggie's Ma no more. No, I ain't gonna work for Maggie's Ma no more. When she talks to all the servants about man and God and law, and everybody says she's the brains behind Paul. She's 68, but she says she's 54. I ain't gonna work for Maggie's Ma no more. Ooh. I ain't gonna work on Maggie's farm no more. No, I ain't gonna work on Maggie's farm no more. Well, I try my best to be just like I am, and everybody wants me to be a little more like them. They say sing while you sleep, but I just get bored. I ain't gonna work on Maggie's farm no more. I'd like to call up a friend of mine, Patrick O'Rourke, to accompany me on the next few songs. You know, I read almost 40,000 men and women have been wounded in the war so far, and this song is called "Reaching Out to You." It's one man's story of trying to work his way back home. Don't want to talk about where I've been. Well, look at my face, you'll see the kind of shape I'm in. Just looking for strength, starting over again. When she opens the door to me, I want to walk right on in. She's all I think about, and the way we used to be. We were young and tender, waiting patiently. Waited for you on our last night, but you took up with your sad night, took up the fight. Come back to tell you this old world ain't round, 'cause I was standing on the edge of it when it all came tumbling down. And I've fallen through this blue, reaching out for you. Well, I've learned to fight now, and I won't forget how to. Who do I kill now? Who do I bow to? I serve my country, I fought with pride, but my love blew away, my tender ways have died. Bet you didn't know that this old world ain't round, 'cause I was standing on the edge of it when it all came tumbling down. And I've fallen through this blue, reaching out for you. Jose was from East LA. Tony grew up in Sheepshead Bay. Sweet Maria was from Kentucky. It all happened in a flash. Gone up in smoke and ash. And as for me, I just got lucky. read, I'm a brand new man. Stainless steel's my shoulder now, carbon is my hand, and my pain is a phantom, and the world blows brown, and what was once real to me is now no longer found. So I've come back to tell you, this old world ain't round. I was standing on the edge of it when it all came tumbling down, and I've fallen through this blue. I've fallen through this blue. I've fallen through this blue, reaching out for you. How do we sound? Good? All right, we'll get going. All right. I don't live large, I don't think big, I just work hard like my daddy always did. I'm a simple man, that's all, I just live small. I don't have much, no need for a will. I know I'll never drive a Cadillac Seville. I'm a simple man, that's all, I just live small. At night I watch her sleeping, moonlight on her face. Is my small life enough for her, or does she dream of a bigger place? Last Saturday night we took a walk, had a cup of coffee and a kitchen table talk, and I listened to her plans for her simple man. At night I watch her sleeping, my beautiful moonlit wife. My small world enough for her,